The first time I saw her, she was wearing a mask of silver glass. It covered her entire face, smooth and flawless, with faint lines of blue light tracing the edges. It reflected the chandeliers above us and the distant stars. Beyond the crystal dome of the station ballroom, I did not know she was the Empress. I only knew she was the most graceful being in the room. The station orbited the neutral world of Illyria Prime. It was a meeting ground for diplomats, traders, and military observers from a dozen species. Tonight, it held a cultural exchange gala meant to reduce tensions between humanity and the Aurelian Empire. I was not a diplomat. I was security. My name is Captain Elias Rowan of the Terran Defense Fleet. My job was simple. Watch for threats. Stay alert. Do not get distracted. Then she walked in. Her gown shimmered like flowing starlight, woven from threads that shifted color with every step. The Aurelians were tall and elegant, their movements precise and fluid, but something about her was different. She moved with curiosity rather than superiority. The mask hid her features completely. Aurelian nobles wore masks in public as a sign of status and privacy. It was tradition. No one questioned it. Music filled the hall, a fusion of human strings and Aurelian harmonic resonance. Strange at first, then beautiful. She stood at the edge of the dance floor, watching the humans attempt Aurelian steps with awkward determination. I should have kept scanning the room. Instead, I found myself walking toward her. She tilted her head slightly as I approached. The mask reflected my uniform and my uncertain expression. "Would you care to dance?" I asked. Her voice came through a subtle translator field, soft and melodic. "You are aware, human officer, that you may embarrass yourself." "I embarrass myself regularly," I replied. "It builds character." There was a pause. Then she placed her hand in mine. Her skin was warm, not scaled as rumors suggested. Smooth and steady, 5 fingers like ours, though slightly longer. We stepped onto the floor at first. I followed the patterns projected on the central hologram. Slow turns, measured steps. Aurelian dances focused on balance and eye contact. Difficult when your partner wore a mirrored mask. "You learn quickly," she said. "I had a good teacher. I have not taught you anything. You agreed to dance." That earned a faint sound from her. A laugh, perhaps. As we moved, the noise of the hall seemed to fade. I noticed small details. The subtle pressure of her fingers guiding me. The way she adjusted to my mistakes rather than correcting them harshly. "You are not like the others," she said. "Other humans." Yes, many watch us with suspicion. It has been a tense few years, indeed. The Aurelian Empire had expanded rapidly before encountering human space. Our first contact had nearly become a war. Only careful negotiation prevented open conflict. "And you?" I asked. "Do you watch us with suspicion?" She considered this. "I watch you with interest." The song shifted into something slower. The lights dimmed slightly, simulating twilight over an alien ocean. "You move, as though you are guarding the room," she observed. "I am. You do not relax. Even now, I cannot." "Why?" "Because, if something goes wrong, people get hurt." She was silent for a few steps. "You place yourself between danger and others." "It is the job." "No," she said quietly. "It is the choice." I did not know how to respond to that. The music built toward its final movement, a sequence that required a spin and a close step inward. I hesitated. She did not. She drew me in. For a brief second, We were closer than protocol allowed. I could see my own eyes reflected in her mask. I wondered what hers looked like. Then it happened. A sharp crack echoed through the hall. My training snapped into place. I released her and turned toward the sound. A catering drone had collided with a lighting rig. Sparks showered down. Guests cried out. I moved without thinking. I pushed her aside gently but firmly and stepped under the failing structure. The rig detached from its mount and began to fall toward a cluster of Aurelian officials. I grabbed the support beam and braced. The weight slammed into my shoulders. Pain exploded down my spine. I held it long enough for others to scatter. Security teams rushed in. The rig was lifted away. I dropped to one knee. Breathing hard, Boots approached me. "You are injured," she said. "I will live." There was something different in her voice now, urgent. Commanding medical drones surrounded us. As they scanned me, one of the Aurelians began shouting in their language. Others turned toward the masked woman. Then, slowly, she reached up. A collective gasp filled the hall. Her fingers touched the edge of the silver glass. She removed the mask. I had never seen an Aurelian face before. Her skin shimmered faintly with natural luminescence. High cheekbones. Eyes like liquid gold with vertical pupils. Not cold, not distant, intelligent, alive and furious. "Enough," she said in flawless, unfiltered English. Every Aurelian in the room dropped to one knee. Humans stared in confusion. One of our diplomats whispered hoarsely, "That is her radiance." The Empress of the Aurelian Empire stood before me. I blinked up at her from the floor. "You," I managed. She looked down at me, and the anger softened into something else. "You risked yourself for my people. I did not know they were your people. You did not need to know." She knelt beside me, ignoring the shock rippling through both delegations. "Why?" she asked softly. "Because they were in danger." No calculation, no hesitation. "That is what humans do," I said. "We protect." A faint smile touched her luminous features. "Yes," she said. "You do." She stood and addressed the hall. "Let this be recorded. A human officer shielded Aurelian lives without knowing their rank or value. Remember this when you speak of their kind." Her gaze swept across nobles and admirals alike. "We have misjudged them." Silence hung heavy in the air. She extended her hand to me again. "Captain Elias Rowan, will you finish the dance?" My ribs protested as I stood, but I took her hand this time. She wore no mask. We stepped back onto the floor amid stunned onlookers. The music resumed. Hesitant at first, then stronger, without the mirrored surface between us. The dance changed. Her eyes met mine directly. There was no barrier now, no symbol of distance. "You have caused quite a disturbance," I said quietly. "You began it," she replied. "You removed the mask. You removed the fear." The final notes swelled around us. When her mask fell, "She was the Empress," I said under my breath. "And when yours fell," she answered, "you were exactly what I hoped." The song ended. Applause began slowly, uncertain. Then it grew. Humans and Aurelians alike. I was still just a captain. She was still an empress. But something had shifted, not because of treaties or negotiations, because one dance had shown to civilizations what the other truly was. Not enemies, not rivals, just people willing to stand in the falling light for each other. And that, I think, was the beginning of everything.